If I can tell you exactly how to handle any objection that comes along and how to improve your objection handling, would you want to hear it? I'm Stratton Jr., godfather of sales. This is what we're going to talk about today. Now, if you like the information you're getting in these videos, please hit that like button. Be sure and subscribe. Get notified when new information comes out. Now, let's get into objection handling and how you can improve it. I was in a Facebook group the other day, and I'm in a bunch of them all over the place with sales and closing. And somebody asked, what is the best response to, I got to talk to my wife? Okay? Well, there are hundreds of answers and comments on this post now. And this person is going through and talking about each of them and having conversations of why do you do it this way? Why do I do it that way? Why? Asking all of these things and really just ends up confusing themselves. You can hear it in the comments that they're making, that they don't understand which one's right, which one's not, which way to go. This is not the way to handle objections, right? If you're handling an objection by just trying to find a silver tongue one-liner that you can just spit out every time somebody says something, you're going to have a hard time doing it. And I've seen this done over and over again. People coming in from other sales trainings or people who have just tried to look at free information online and think that's enough for them to start closing. And they just try to spit out these one-liners that don't work in a real life situation because you don't have context. You don't have a background. And that's where you have to start if you really want to handle objections properly. In order to improve your objection handling, first and foremost, you've got to take notes on your calls. If you're not taking notes, why the hell not? You're missing out on a lot of information that you could use later in the call. We're human. I know some people say I don't need to take notes. I've got a good enough memory. I handle it fine. And you know what? That's great for that call. What happens when you have to follow up with them 2 weeks later? Now maybe you don't remember something specific. It's always better to have notes. Take your notes. Then when you're on that call and an objection comes up, you can refer back to something that they said earlier in the call to help them to see why that objection is really just an excuse or shouldn't be there. You need to take notes. You need to make sure that you are referring to those notes while you're talking to people. You've got to have context throughout the whole call, not just how to handle this one objection that came up. It doesn't work. Now, yes, there are some places and some circumstances where it does. I'm not saying it never will, but it's not the best way to go about it. The next thing that you can do in order to handle objections better and to learn to improve is to learn the 3-step method of handling any objection. Now, I've got another video about that I've done already. I'll put a link down in the description about it, or maybe up here in one of the cards. But you get these 3 steps down and you start practicing them in all of life, not just for handling objections, not just for specific situations, but actually utilizing this as a normal conversation method, and you will get much faster and much better at handling your objections. Now, go back and watch that video, get those 3 steps down. It's well worth your time. The third thing that you can do to help improve your objection handling is to get more into role plays. Now, I know that this is a big debate in the sales community. Some people will tell you that role plays are pointless, just get on real calls. Other people, like myself, will say role plays are a fairly important part of smoothing out your conversation before you get on real calls. I prefer to do role plays. Now, yes, role playing is not always going to be realistic like an actual sales call. No, most people don't know how to play a proper prospect. But what they can do is give you every objection imaginable on that call. And that gives you the ability to have to quickly think about it, get through it, and get in the habit of referring back to anchor points or being able to turn it around and put it back on their shoulders. Whatever it is that needs to be done with that objection, the more you practice it, the faster it will come while you're in the conversation. Take these 3 points to heart. You work on your objection handling like this, and I can guarantee you, you will get faster and smoother with it, and your sales will go up. Now, if you'd like to learn a little bit more, click that link down below, join our Facebook group, get a little bit more information, get to know some of us, learn about the 9 fundamentals of a sales call and how you can work on and improve those. I'm Don Stratton Jr., Godfather of Sales. We'll see you in the next one.